Hi, hello. It's Anim James, and with me is.
My name's Kevin. I can normally be found over at Dirty 20 Gaming doing tabletop role playing games, but I also have the pleasure of working here with Anim Gems. This week, our topic is the problem with charities. Do you want to start us off?
No, you can.
Oh, okay. Um, the first thing we agreed to talk about is that charities are essential. We need them in the world that we live in. There's people that just need help. It's that simple, and it's
Also,
not funded in any other way.
also, because sometimes it's good to help others.
Oh, always, yes. It's one of the things that I'm very big on is helping others makes everybody feel better. But there, and most of us, I think, the vast majority of us feel that way. But there are those that are using charitable donations for bad things. Let's be honest. There's pitfalls and problems with the industry that are purporting and claiming to support those in need.
Yeah, and at the end, when you see all these problems, you don't want help because you don't see any good thing like how to do that, or it is worth at all.
Exactly. Yeah. The in my mind, it's bad that these people, some people are literally stealing money. But one of the worst things about all of these people that we're about to talk about is that they make people less likely to donate to actual causes that are doing real good, and that hurts the people that need it the most.
Yeah, and also people start to think like there was quote in Barbie movie in the selfish world, selfish people won.
Yes, and that's a spectacular quote to go with this because you have got to be spectacularly selfish if you are going to steal from a charity.
Yes,
So,
or from
yeah,
good people, like kind
from
people.
exactly misrepresenting yourself. So, I guess we'll just dive in, shall we? Start with
Yes,
our first bad company. We decided to start with this one because they're international. They've been around for years and years and years, and they are a for-profit company. They're upfront about that, called Omaze, and they organize celebrity experiences and prize raffles and all that sort of stuff. And they say, that the money goes to charity, but the percentages just don't back that up. So,
yeah,
did you want to, yeah, get us started?
also, also, what I didn't like it about this company, but I heard about this company, is not only that celebrities join it and think they help because there were prize in a raffle meeting those celebrities like at dinner and stuff. But also they were giving out houses to people, but those houses were placed in bad places, like with floods or other things, and people want house, but then lose that house.
Sure, yeah. So yeah, they're offering up for that's the raffle side of it, and what they're offering up for that is often not what it seems. Um, but to me, the surprising part with that is for those prize-based experiences, the houses, the you know a famous item, something like that that's up for auction, a
Not
grand
only,
total.
not item, you could not, for example, with famous actor, spend
Mhm.
dinner or
Yes,
with singer.
and and in that case, you get dinner with this famous person. 60% of the money donated goes to charity, which sounds, at first glance, all right. But that means that 40% of that money stays with Omaze. They use it to, in their words, cover fees and advertising. But there's no external source to prove that. Roughly speaking, what we can really say is that Omaze keeps 40% of the profits
Yeah, also,
and still says that they're donating to charity.
also, they were sneaky for people who like gambling because
Hmm.
first draft is for free for you and then you pay
Yes.
for next tickets.
Yep, and that's where we get to these prize-based experiences. It's essentially a raffle, and there are for-profit companies out there that do this to make money. This is exactly the same model that they use to turn a profit. But these folks are claiming that they're helping charity, and in the prize-based experience, this is the number that made me mad. 15% of the take goes to the charity. That means that Omaze kept 85% of the donations. And yes, they had to cover the cost of the prize and shipping and all of that, but they get great deals on that stuff. They kept 85% of the donations. But you were talking about the free tickets, and because of that, and because of laws in certain places demanding that a raffle offers some way in which somebody can get a free ticket, they stopped operating in the US because it was forced on them to be too easy to give away free tickets and they were losing profits.
Yeah, and also people complained because those houses was collapsing that
Oh
they
yeah.
won.
Yeah, can you imagine you I mean again, it's a lot of those houses they're given by charities, but they were funded by these raffles. So you receive what seems like a gift, right? Wow, a house, that's amazing. But then within several months, it's not a place you can live in. It's falling apart. It's costing you money. You moved out of a place that you could afford, and now you're in a place that's falling down around your ears and getting flooded every year. And you're
Yeah,
still supposed to be grateful somehow. So, yeah, I think it's fair to say that companies like that do not have the charitable recipient at heart. It's for profit, and let's be real honest about that, right?
yeah, and because of that, people are like, why I should help.
Exactly. Yeah. Every single time one of these scams comes up, it's an excuse or a reason for someone who wants to help to go, I'm not going to do that because only 15% of the money gets to the person that needs it. Or, they're these people are taking
Also,
too much in profits.
also because it's rubber, you don't know how much percent you have to own, how many tickets
Yes.
you need to buy, and it's become complete. Like if Lotto,
Yes. Yes, exactly. Because you don't buy a ticket to these lotteries. You buy 1,000 tickets or 5,000 tickets or 10,000 tickets because everybody's allowed to buy as many as they want. And they pressure you into saying, oh, if you only buy one, you have less chance of winning. So,
yes,
yeah, and so for those, and yes, for it is very much picking on people that have gambling challenges and addictions because how much, if I spend a little more, I've got a better chance. And that's just leading people down the road to being poor themselves, right?
and it's also kind of profit of fans of celebrities
Oh,
because
yeah.
you
Yeah.
really want to spend dinner with your favorite actor or singer.
Yeah. So you end up donating more than you should, put yourself in a bad place, and then the company that did that to you keeps most of the profits. It hardly seems it's I was going to say it hardly seems fair, but that's because it isn't. It's I don't want to call it a scam because it's not quite because it is just ever so slightly above board, but it's a horrible example of people turning a profit when they claim to be helping the disadvantaged, right?
Yeah,
Now you brought me this next one, and oh boy, it started off with a simple sentence. We don't like foundations that are directly involved in charity and politics. And you started telling me about a company that in English is called the Great Orchestra of Christmas Charity and their
yes.
foundation. So, can you, first of all, for those of us that are listening outside of North America, can you say the name of that company in the correct Polish, please?
Wielka Orkiestra Świątecznej Pomocy.
I'm glad you did that because I never would have got that right. So GOCC, Great Orchestra of Christmas Charity, is how I am able to read it. but its primary purpose is to manage the, and this is from their own website. Its primary purpose is to manage the economic and commercial activities of the foundation, allowing for a clear separation between charity work and business operations. But that's not what they do, is it? I mean, first of all, tell us where they get some of their money from.
They are collecting money and have like grand finale every year with big events across Poland. And most volunteers who coming with guns are children from school forced by teachers. And they also have like auction, like if you buying on eBay, but Polish version. So they have like a lot of money. You could want something that belong to celebrity or experience, like they are at the military base, firefighter base, like some stuff are great and
Mhm.
some stuff normal people, regular people donate and people auction. But most case is from this event. But those events are not sponsored by this foundation. They are organized by local government and like I said, schools.
Right. But the thing that surprised me is that they receive a considerable amount of their funding directly from the government. Is that correct?
It's more like government organize those concerts that are
Ah,
grand final. So
right,
and the government sponsor protection like health if something happen at this events,
right.
security,
Hmm.
airtime on national television, whole day, and I'm saying
Right.
again, whole day.
Yes. So the Great Orchestra has a couple of groups that work with it, and this is where the problem comes in. And there's actually been lawsuits involved, and we'll get to those in a second. But there's two particular companies involved. In English, they're Golden Melon and Whole Ant. But again, those are not their original names. So if I can get you to pronounce those names for us.
Watermelon and mrówka cała.
Right. So those are associations that are the first one, the Golden Melon Company, is a Polish company that is 100% owned by the Great Orchestra. Right. It is a subsidiary of the Great Orchestra, and it's that quote that I read earlier. Its job is to manage the economic and commercial activities of the foundation, allowing for a clear separation between charity work and business operations, which sounds like a nice safety feature. Except that other company, Whole Ant, as you pointed out for us, is first of all run by the wife of the person who runs the Great Orchestra Foundation, right?
Yes,
Uh, and it is a company again from the lawsuit that was filed is cooperating with the Great Orchestra and through agreements signed with it, drawing profits from the foundation. So it's right there. They created a company designed to take money from the charity and use it for non-charity purposes.
which is festival Paul and Rock, and in the
Mhm.
past Woodstock.
So these are, now let's be clear, these concerts are purely for profit. The money from that is not going to the charity. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah. So yes, they're using money collected by a charity and supposed to be used for charitable purposes to fund
hospitals.
concerts for hospitals and things like that, and they have been caught taking that money and using it to fund their own business interests. And credit to a certain blogger. I'm going to use again the words I can pronounce, which is Mother Kirka. Can I get you to actually say their name?
Matka kurka.
Okay. And this was on the website controversy.net during the court process, which was brought by them. This is in 2014, so this is a while ago. They suspended the activity of Whole Ant, and because of the illegality of what they were doing, and within 8 days, they just founded a new company
Kalet
and
jasna sprawa. Which is
Mhm.
like sure or of course. Like it means jasna sprawa.
Right. So I mean, talk about thumbing your nose at the authorities. They just founded a new company that does exactly the same thing. And despite the request from the courts did not receive any or all of the settlements of the company from either the company or from the orchestra itself. They just
And
simply refused to give them the information.
and judge have right what they said. They said
Hmm.
that charity money belong to society, not to foundation, private.
Right. Right. Now, there's a whole lot more to this story. So I'm going to hand over to you for a couple of minutes here because this is one of those ones that, I mean, it's got its fingers all the way through society. I'll just start off with these grand final events that happen. They happen all over the country, right?
Yes, in every city and town.
And they're huge productions, right?
Yes, and even if small town doing, it still cost because you need secure these concerts. It's like you
Sure.
have New Year Eve concerts.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's you showed me footage of one of them where the head of the great orchestra did a flyover in an F-16 jet. The fireworks displays put New Year's Eve at Times Square to shame. Some of these ones that you showed me, the concerts are amazing. People would pay $1,000 to go to these concerts. But, and as this was you pointed this out, if you add up the cost of all of that, it's more than they collected, isn't it?
Yes,
Which means, I mean, that's some pretty simple math, right? The money's not getting where it's supposed to go. It's
yes,
self-aggrandizing for the great orchestra. It's going to fund private businesses, and you told me also a couple of reasons why it's still around, why it's still here. You want to bring us up to date on that?
it's because it happens in 90s. So three generation lived with this foundation and get used it because like I said, school children collecting. And when you try to tell people that you don't like this foundation, you don't trust them, they don't show how they spend money, then
Hmm.
people say it's better that give to Caritas, which is foundation by Catholic Church.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because so you're roughly speaking, obviously there's other much smaller charities, but on the large grand scale, is it fair to say there's really only two ways to donate in your area? It's either through the Great Orchestra or through these church
In
charities?
theory, there's more because even television network have their two foundation, but
Right.
the most popular, like the most common, is this
Yeah,
or church.
right. So, what did I miss? Fill me in on the rest of the story because there's a lot going on in this.
Yeah, but I don't know where to start.
Okay. Let's start with the husband and wife team behind this. Then they've been doing this for, like you said, 30 plus years now. and they're still doing it, and they appear to be still getting away with it.
Yes, and
You mentioned
people even tell they deserve peace Nobel and be
oh, okay.
president of country.
Right. So they're receiving huge social support and public support while they're doing these things, and they're probably illegal activities are just being swept under the rug. Is that
Yes,
fair to
and
say?
yes, and I hate that because some percent of money they buying device to hospital like equipment, but they
Sure.
don't like really give these hospitals. They borrow to hospitals and they show that this equipment is based this foundation by sticking stickers head shaped with logo of foundation. But you
Right.
can't stick them everywhere. It's not
Sure.
proof. But
Yeah.
people, when you talk with people that you don't trust this foundation, they say, but look, how many heads is in hospital stickers. Those
Yeah.
equipment really help and save children hospital.
So yeah, they're even misrepresenting what little that they are doing. That's it's got to be frustrating, right? I mean, for someone who sees what's really going on, especially when they got such deep rooted support, do you find it sort of frustrating, especially knowing that your
Yes,
money's going to
but
this and you don't really have a choice?
yes, but I'm kinda like I'm kinda like keeping to myself my thought
Hmm.
because I know that I won't won. I'm only
Right.
afraid that people telling me you don't like this foundation, then don't donate money. But how
Right.
when those grand finals are organized from my taxes?
Exactly. So yeah, there is tax money being involved in this. So you're donating whether you want to or not, really, is what that boils down
Yes,
to, and that makes it just that much worse. It's bad enough that they're a bad organization that's doing business in bad faith, but to not be able to opt out, that just makes it that much worse.
and I also hate that money companies like banks and even
Hmm.
company who doing crunch chips, potato,
Hmm.
they are
Sure.
join these cars. And when you buy, for example, crunch chips are on that grand finale, some money goes to this foundation. Or
Right.
when you do transfer money in one specific bank, they also giving all money from this transfer, like not the transfer you give, but the tax of
Yeah.
transfer.
Yeah, they're making essentially making deposits on your behalf to the foundation, and that's
Yes,
it's not your choice, and that's a key element. So
I
that's
also
I
hate that those children who collecting they stand whole day in the winter because those grand finals are in January. In the past,
right.
they were closer to New Year Day, but now they
Mhm.
can't later. But
Right.
still, they stand in January in winter, and
Yeah.
sometimes they stand in the place that you can't avoid, like in front of cemetery or
Yeah.
supermarket or
Yeah.
even in entrance of church.
Yeah. And again, it's not voluntary, right? These kids are not given the choice whether to go out and stand in the freezing cold or not. They're just told to do it. It's as simple as that. They don't
Yes,
have a choice, right?
and because they want to have better grades in school because they are
Oh.
activity volunteering.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So yeah, they're
And teacher
being
has
pressured into it.
and teachers have from the from principal to be volunteering in some
Sure.
stuff. So they're
Yeah.
volunteering in this.
Yeah. It's it reminds me of a word that's been made up recently, which is voluntold. It
Yes.
sounds like you're being volunteered, but you're actually being voluntold. Yeah, that sounds like that is. I mean, that's a horrible example of a charity gone hideously wrong with its heels dug in, and really, really sort of worst case scenario.
Also, this it's most important that this Poland rock in the past, Woodstock in the past was different festival and the Soviet government, but this this founded of great orchestra keep kind of gain control over this and change name to Woodstock because they
Right,
wanted to teenagers and other young people like went out and don't do anything against government.
right. Yeah, so they turned it into just a party for the sake of a party.
Yes,
Yeah, instead of a party with a purpose. Yeah. So all around bad people all around, I think, is a fair assessment of that. And uh, it's probably pointless to even wish this, but it would be awfully nice if somebody could get in there and clean that up, right? That would be a big deal.
yeah,
But
but
it's probably
even
not going to happen.
but when one president of city that during this grand final and this founder pretending he won longer to this grand finals, he people will like stand with him and to hashtags and saying
Right.
you deserve to Nobel Prize.
Ay, ay, ay. So yeah, he's even when there's a death, he's using that. And this is the key part of this too. Is it's self-aggrandizement. The videos you showed me, a lot of them are this same guy, this head of the grand orchestra, doing things like I said earlier, flying in F-16s or going to these grand finales and announcing to 100,000 people in the crowd, and just it seems like it's really all about him.
Yes,
It,
and
yeah.
every year they he tell at midnight that we did another record how much money fundraise.
Always, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, you're thinking we raised all this money, and you're thinking, yeah, you spent it all at this party. But we could
Also,
talk about that one all day long. Okay,
yeah,
keep going. Yeah.
but only tell people how big is this Woodstock from money of this grand orchestra because I show you.
Yeah, there's these parties that they're organizing, both the grand finales, which are part of the charity, and these what they used to call Woodstock concerts. They're massive. They are very large outdoor concerts. They were talking. The little ones are tens of thousands of people. The big ones are hundreds of thousands of people. They fill up an entire downtown core of a city for some of these parties, and the outdoor ones, the Woodstocks and what I mean, it's acres and acres and acres. It's like the original Woodstock in the U.S. It's
And
that large,
and
and
this
there are
Woodstock
multiple ones a year. Mhm.
and this Woodstock is not from taxes. This one is from whole from this foundation.
Yes, the money that was taken from the orchestra and put into that other foundation, the whole ant at the previously, and now they've changed the name to, of course. Um, but then that company is using that charitably raised money to fund these concerts, which in the end create turn a profit and make money for the people involved. And that money is not going back to the charities; it's going in their private pockets, right?
And people where it behave on this Woodstock like with mud, drugs and everything.
Oh yeah, much like the original Woodstock. The footage you showed me is a mess. There's not enough shade for the sun. There's not enough water. There's not enough toilets. There's not enough anything except booze, from what I saw. So, but yeah, it's a horrible situation pretending to be doing good, and I think that's probably the worst thing you could say about a charity, right?
Yeah, and
Should
also
should we
they
move on? Oh,
and also they funded political campaign, like in last
Oh.
voting for president
Mhm.
of Poland, the left side of president, they funded and do events for campaign for this president and even
Oh my goodness.
fund banners for this president.
Right. Yeah, that absolutely categorically would not be allowed over here. That would be absolutely called out as political interference. But it doesn't surprise me that an organization with this level of power is stretching their fingers into politics.
Yeah, and
It's in their best interest to own the president, right?
yeah, and politicians were on Woodstock speaking to these teenagers.
Yep. So there. I mean, this is this whole topic that we started this on, and this is the perfect example of it. These foundations that became directly involved in politics.
Yeah, and
They're not even pretending anymore. They're not even hiding behind shields. They're flat out donating money. It's blatant. Right?
yeah, and I also don't like where some foundation kinda disrupt order of country, making crime rise or kinda revolution. I
Yep.
don't like that.
Yep. Yeah. Charities for bad causes. Um, but shall we leave the great orchestra behind?
Yes,
Yeah, and we could talk about this for days, but that's sort of a quick overview for people like me who had never heard of it. And I want to close with one note. If you look them up, first thing that comes up is good old Wikipedia, and boy, do they sound great on paper. They clearly wrote their own Wikipedia site because there's not a hint of any of this scandal on that page.
I also
So,
hate, I also hate that there was quote from very left hated newspaper, like not hated by people on left, but people in general don't like this newspaper, Gazeta Wyborcza, who said that is the most trusted foundation charity.
yeah, you've got when they when they donate to your party, you say nice things about them, right? That's nothing new.
Yeah,
All right, so they we can see they've absolutely worked themselves into the society. We're nowhere near rooting that problem out. But
yeah,
let's
but
switch quick.
only I said that this Wikipedia sound like commercial paid for
Oh
this
yeah,
foundation.
exactly. Yeah, and that's a really good point too, because almost all of the places that we find that we're going to talk about today, almost all, not all of them, but if you go to their website, they you won't find any of this about the past problems that they've had, the current problems that they're having. I mean, obviously, no company is going to write "we steal" on their website, but there's not a hint of scandal on any of them. It's just self praise and donate. Just there's two buttons: "We're great" and "Donate money." Right. Um,
Yeah,
and and a great example of that, and I'm comfortable talking about this one because it's technically technically in the past now. We're talking about UNICEF.
alright.
As much as the great orchestra folks in Poland would know about it, and folks outside of Poland probably not so much. UNICEF is worldwide. UNICEF is and has been for decades one of the largest international charities out there. And they have, to put it mildly, a history of scandal. Uh, Most of this is I mean, this is really bold. This is flat out theft from the money that was raised in whatever formats and in what the little boxes that they used to have and the donations and everything else. But in 1995, for an example, they called it the worst scandal in their history. UNICEF disclosed that 24 of its employees stole or squandered $10 million. It was more than 25% of the budget for Kenya, for 2-year budget. Over a quarter of it went missing before they got caught. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Horrible. And I also don't like UNICEF because last year they they joined promotion of new Smurf movie, and they said that children should be activists and change the world.
Yeah,
And I hate that.
yeah. When this is the similar to what we talked about above, but instead of getting involved in politics, they're getting involved in businesses. They're sponsoring movies. It could very easily be argued that that's not a good use of funds. Um, but and so it is still going on. Like I said, it's 1995 was when they got busted for that. They're still doing questionable things today. In Germany in the late 2000s, there was 5,000 UNICEF donors abandoned their support and walked away because of the mismanagement, abuse, and waste of funds in Germany. So they lost 5,000 donors because they're of how poorly they managed their money. And then in 2012, they confirmed fraud in Pakistan, where an estimated $4 million was stolen. And the thing is, since then, they have spent a tremendous amount of money to get their rating back to excellent on their transparency and things like that. But as you said, they're still doing really questionable things.
Yes, and like I said, I don't like that idea that children should be involved
Yes.
in
Hmm.
activism and changing world. Like I get some things children may see that should be better, but
Hmm.
children should be children and play. Don't
Yes.
change the world.
Yeah. And if a teenager, I'm thinking of Greta Thunberg or someone like that, if they choose to be an activist, that's a different thing. But for a charity to be calling out for children to be activists, I agree with you. That's a bit much,
And
especially when what they're really saying is they want children to become fundraisers. That's what they're really saying, right?
no, they said that you children, even small like Smurfs, you have voice that could change the world. And
Yeah,
parents, encourage your children to do that. You have
sure.
voice. Take banners and protest, for example, on street, or do
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. So again, yeah, there's I get your point. And they're sneaking into that political realm again. They're asking children to make political statements by going to protests.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unacceptable, right? Um, but that's they're not the only company that's doing that. And they're not the only company that's misusing funds. Uh, PETA is another example. And again, the idea behind PETA is magnificent. Ethical treatment of animals, I would argue for. I'll fight for it. If I agree with that altogether.
Yes,
However,
but also I don't like that they catch up even to video games. Like,
mhm,
for example, Red Dead Redemption 2. They complained that as cowboy you hunt animals and get
mhm,
skins from those animals. Or they
yeah,
complain at Pokemons and they did their version of Pokemons.
yeah. And meanwhile, they're spending their money. They've been busted flat out spending their money, putting down animals. And
Yes.
the other one is the big knock on one of the big knocks on Peter. There's a lot. Again, I'm all for the ethical treatment of animals. I am against this organization because, amongst other things, they're collecting money that is supposedly going for shelters and animal ethical treatment, and they're spending it instead on elaborate media stunts, like tying themselves to an old growth forest tree. They did that in Vancouver, or trying to block ships. Greenpeace did the same thing. They spend their money making themselves famous instead of helping the source that they're claiming that they're helping.
And the worst is followers of those foundations like PETA, it even hurt animals because I
Yes.
heard story of activists who free calves from farm,
Yep.
but
Yep.
it was winter and cow that because
Yep.
of that.
Yep. And it wasn't PETA, it was a different organization, but that this happened years ago. They broke into a building and released mink that were being kept for fur coats, and they released them into the wild. The problem with that is mink are a bred animal. They never existed in the wild as wild animals, and they all died almost immediately. So, if a group of people who's claiming that they want the ethical treatment of animals doesn't even know what constitutes a wild animal, it makes you question their real reasons, right?
Yeah,
And that yeah, and that's where we get to the real allegations about PETA is that a a far too large a portion of their money that they receive through donations goes towards what they call operating expenses and marketing rather than actually aiding shelters and animals.
yeah,
So is that yeah, it's and to me this one bugs me. This one I take this one really personally because the cause is so close to my heart. Um, I don't like the idea of zoos. I don't like the idea of big aquariums where you pay money to go and see an animal that's supposed to be in the ocean. I don't like the mistreatment of dogs and cats in houses. I am all for the ethical treatment of animals, and then to have an organization that has that right in the title be this bad at what they do, it makes me mad. Like some of these make me shake my head. The first one, the grand orchestra, just like, oh my god, how could this be happening? But this one makes me mad.
yeah, and also it makes people don't want to help and protect
Yes,
animals because they see
exactly. Yeah,
this PETA and also connect to vegans who
mhm,
also are loud and then
yeah, yeah,
people have enough.
yeah, exactly. And that's thank you for bringing it up again because that's kind of the underlying theme to this whole topic today. Is every single one of these groups that does this, and every single news story that comes out about the groups that are doing this, makes it less likely that people are going to donate to real good causes. And
Or
that
do
is, or yeah,
themselves
or
good.
yeah, exactly, or even to do yeah, even to do good, or try and do it yourself. It breaks you down, and it makes you think there's no choice. Like you said earlier, the quote: "In a selfish world, you can only be selfish," right? And it's not
They
true.
want, they want selfish in the
Mhm.
selfish
Yeah,
world.
yeah. And I mean, I would argue all day that that's not true, but it's a very good pitch. It's a very good pitch line that is very easy to convince people to be selfish and not to help others. And I mean, let's be honest, we got to help each other. There's people that need help. It's that simple, and somebody's got to do it because we're humans. We're not selfish animals. We're a
And
pack animal,
also,
right?
and also, it's nice to help.
Oh yeah. I don't. I don't want to talk about my group on your channel, but we close every single show with "Until the next time we see you, please be nice to each other."
Yes,
Um, so it's important to me, and I honestly think it's that easy. Um, and these people doing this and stealing money and being bad, it makes me mad because it's not hard to be nice. But this makes it harder. Every time somebody does this, it makes it harder for somebody to be nice.
yes.
This next one's lately, like real recently. This is within the last year or so. This is Iron Mouse and a lot of others. I mean, a whole bunch of VTubers have now left VShojo, and it's for the same reasons. In Iron Mouse's case, $500,000 was raised for charity and for Iron Mouse, and it was spent by VShojo to keep their business alive.
And they lied
Their bi-
to her.
Mhm. Yeah, oh yes, they lied to her, and not just her. There are dozens of content creators that they did this to. They I feel really bad for the content creators because they did the right thing, right? They had these events. They raised huge amounts of money. I mean, $500,000. You cannot sneeze at $500,000 donated to a charity. That's going to make a difference.
and
Like that really is going to make a difference. And
and
they stole it. They lied to their customers, and they used this to cover their bills.
and also put Iron Mouse in Petrite because she said to
Yes.
her viewers that this money she would donate to this
Mm-hmm.
hospital treating
Yeah.
her problem to treat the
Yes.
children, and
Yeah.
this Jojo was managing her money from donation, and they
Yep.
were
And they
telling
stole it. Yep.
and they were telling her we do this.
Yep. And absolutely, you're absolutely right because Iron Mouse got some blowback from this. They made it. It was in the long run, it worked out because it became clear who the bad guy was. But when this originally hit and that $500,000 didn't get donated, Iron Mouse took a lot of shit for that. Pardon my language, but they took a lot of abuse for that, and it was not their fault. They
And,
were absolutely 100% taken advantage of.
and the best was also that CEO of this Jojo in America, when he saw the post about donating, he congratulated her, but later
Yeah,
he pretended he didn't know about this money
yeah,
charity.
yeah. Oh yeah, it was a dirty scam right from the word go. And again, this is another case where because this was for children and this was a personally motivated charity because Iron Mouse has a medical situation and they wanted kids who had that to not have to suffer like they did. I mean, what? How much more heroic can you be, right? Uh,
Yes,
there's nothing in the world that you can say to me that makes you sound like a better person than let's save some kids, right? And then for somebody they this company V Shoujo literally stole from children.
do you
To,
remember the joke about that someone give money to orphanage and money was poisoned and everybody was poisoned except children?
hmm
I feel like
Yeah,
it's
I
like
hadn't heard that one,
that.
but yeah, it is exactly like that. Yeah, um, these people to keep their own paychecks and to keep their own company alive, a company that was failing because of their own bad decisions. They should have been making money. I mean, they had a bad business model. They had made very bad decisions and they were losing money. And so instead of admitting that and changing the way that they did business, they stole from children. Now,
And
the
also
end result of this one is a
even
little better.
even Japanese YouTubers left
hmm
when they did
Yes.
interview with CEO in Japan. They
Yep.
on
And that,
streams say they quote.
yeah, that is, I was just gonna say, there's at least a reasonable upshot from this, which is pretty much anybody who was anybody has left that company. All the VTubers from all over the world that were part of them, they all left in disgust, and the company is all but gone. They are
And
no longer
also
in a position to be doing any of this crap anymore.
And also, Iron Mouse did, after quitting her own one
Yes,
crowding, and that even
exactly.
more
Yeah.
money had.
Yes. Yeah, and that was the other happy ending, and thank you very much for that because Iron Mouse then, like you said, went out on their own and did a fundraiser and raised a ton of money for the cause,
I
which
think
there
like
might be a lesson.
I think like 700 of thousand
Yeah,
dollars.
it was more than it was more than the original amount, which was wonderful. Um, but I think that might show a good way out of this sort of thing, which is do it yourself. If you can figure out a way to donate directly, do that rather than going through some intermediary because they're going to want their cut. Like we talked about earlier with Omaze, they're going to take at least 50%, 40 to 50% of your donations for their own expenses. And it's a business model, and they're fairly upfront about it, but it still means that less money gets to the charities. So if you can just go to your local food bank and give them $20, that makes a difference. And it's not, it means that nobody's going to get this money that shouldn't get it. So, oh, this is getting me down. This topic is nasty. I'm waiting to get to the end because we're going to talk about the good things about charity and what you can do to,
Me too.
to make a real difference. But let's keep grinding for the sake of bringing this out into the light and letting everybody see it, bugs and all, and how bad it is. Let's move on to our next topic, if that works for you.
Yes.
We had this one called the appearance of charity. This is the ones where it looks like people are doing good things, but they're doing it for reasons other than the obvious. You brought up Disney and Disney visits in particular. Why don't we start with those? Talk about those.
But it is that when Disney creating special, like for example, Christmas parade, they showing reportage about families who doing something like very sad stories, but charity stories. Like for example, kid who had cancer, but in hospital they were making blankets for other children with cancer, or
Yeah.
fundraising for other children with cancer. And then Mickey Mouse coming out with big check we visit to Disney Park or Disney Cruise, and they show how this family is happy in this park, and even do interviews how fun was in Disney Park.
Yeah, where the truth of it is they use those people's loss to generate public relations, right? They did it for photo shoots, they did it for advertising, they did it so they look good to the public, right?
Yeah, and the best example of that was, I think, last year when Disney had very, very bad PR. So they went to school for military children, like parents military in
Yep.
USA, and teacher was invited to Disney Park
Yeah.
because her duty to teaching those children.
So yeah, again, it looks like a good deed, but it's not. It's about making themselves look better, right? And the money that they give out, the trips that they give away are very cheap compared to spending hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising that probably won't work.
Yeah, and the best part was us when was concert before Christmas, holiday music. They also joined the trains with toys that giving children poor toys. But
Yeah,
I was thinking like, what toys they donating? These toys good or toys that they don't sell good at the Disney
yeah,
store?
they're clearing out their warehouses. The I think another important part with that is that it's it's like you said, they're not only promoting themselves, but if they really wanted to do good, if they really wanted to, take sick kids to Disneyland, and that's a good thing, right? I mean, give them their shot, let them enjoy themselves,
And, and they
but
have,
turn
and,
off the damn camera.
yeah,
Convince me it's really about charity and turn off the camera, right?
yeah, and let they have the wish come true or something like
Yep,
that foundation.
yep. The Wish, Make a
So
Wish Foundation.
so I
Yeah,
don't want to see like four families during Christmas parade
yeah,
telling about
and
how they happy and it's sad story that make
yeah,
me cry. Like whoa, one soldier lost leg, so he trained dogs for other
mhm,
soldiers like that. And then
yeah,
they show visit in Disney where soldiers, other salute him, and Mickey Mouse give him medal.
Yeah, yeah. And again, if that's all that happened, I would be okay with that. But the fact that they film it and they put it on their website and they put it on TV and they use it to aggrandize themselves is what makes me angry. Uh, you had mentioned too, it's not necessarily a charity thing, but talent shows and TV shows do the same thing. They
Yes,
generate views by using sad stories, right? One of the ways to get on those talent shows is to have a really sad backstory. And it doesn't really matter what skill you have because people are tuning in to watch that. Now, there's not directly charity involved in that case, but it's the same idea, right? It's profiting off of someone's suffering.
and
Right?
playing on your emotion, like you make
Yes.
sad, so you support this candidate
Hmm.
in TV show.
Exactly, or exactly. So you show them your views by showing up next week to see the next bad
Not
story.
not only,
Or
but also voting by uh, texting phones,
yes,
because those
yep,
talent show have voting, so they have
right, yeah,
money from
yep.
votes.
That's true. Yeah, everybody that makes a call pays the fee, right? That was the scam when those first came out when they had the call in. Now it's through emails, but it's quite often or messaging, but it's quite often the same thing. It costs you 25 cents to do it, and that's profiting. You're profiting off of someone's bad story, and if
And
you want to
playing,
help somebody, but quit profiting from it.
and playing on emotion, because
Yep.
people who watch are sad, like, oh, this person have so sad. I
Yeah.
hope his dream will come true about being singer and support family, or
Yeah.
to be dancer, because he can't
Yep.
be dancer because he need to support family, because
Yep.
parents passed away or left.
Yep. So yeah, it's that manipulation of people's emotions. That's just not good. Um, the the next point we've got on our list is literally a sentence, a fraction of a sentence, even. The famous line. This has been around for decades, but it's always at the bottom in the small print in the corner, and it says, "A portion of the proceeds go to charity." But they never tell you what percentage. So it might be Omaze levels. It might be 15%.
Yes,
But it says that in the corner,
or
yeah,
even
or even
20.
yeah, next to nothing is going it. But because it says that, people will donate. So I mean, that's the center core behind companies like Omaze and the other raffle companies and things like that, right?
Yeah, but
They're
also,
telling you a portion goes to charity.
yes, but also, I always had things like movie displayed in cinema, portion of sale from tickets will go to charity. Like, for
Yeah,
example, about protecting Earth. Like, for
right,
example, if you go watch Avatar, money will go to ecologists.
right, yeah. But they never tell you how much. If it's
Yes,
1 penny for every person that goes, is it really worth mentioning? It's legally correct, but is are they really doing any good? And again, this is just coming up over and over and over again. The people that are making a profit off of charity,
and
and I mean,
also in this regards, I also hate events that some companies selling something, like for example, plastic cup with something like rainbow or green, and they telling by buying your products you support something good charity, and then someone else who buy this think like my job is done. I bought
yes,
this thing, so I help
yep,
it.
yeah, exactly. That false charity. So not only are the people that need it not getting it, but the people that could be donating to good causes think they just did. They think they've done good when all they've done is bought a coffee cup. Right.
Yeah,
Um, This next one,
And also,
oh, go sure.
and also, you don't know
Okay.
if you really help it or they just
Yeah,
advertise that yes, we
exactly.
help.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody's selling a green travel mug with the symbol on the side. You presume that they're helping in that they're raising money for something, and it turns out they're not. They're just selling coffee cups.
Yeah,
Uh,
but that's something you done your job. You don't need to more.
yeah, exactly. It gives you that exactly. This is another reason not to donate, right? As we keep getting to. Um, Now we're going to move to actual criminal behavior. Um,
Yes.
and this is like the lowest of the low, right? This is people that are the example you gave me was the clothing donation bins where you could go and drop off your gently used clothes that they're given to they're given to charities to give away to people in need. And we're finding out that people were, and sometimes even companies, are taking those clothes and selling them for profit and
Or
not giving them to the people that need them.
also, some clothing are donated to racks to clean floor or something. Like
Yeah.
companies took and turn
Mhm.
not into clothing but racks.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, which they sell at, $2 a ton or something, but they're making a profit off of it. And this is supposed to
Yes,
just, and again, you think you're doing a good thing, right? I don't wear these clothes anymore. They don't fit anymore. They're not in style anymore. I'll clean them. I'll take them, I'll make the effort of going downtown and dropping them in the bin, thinking that you're helping people. And because of flat out criminal behavior, you're not. So again, you think I did my part, and all you did is make somebody richer.
yeah, also food, not only
Hmm.
clothing,
Yes.
because food
Yep.
too. And
Mhm.
for example, when started war at Ukraine, in Poland, we were collecting food and donating to Ukraine.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
then turned out those trucks who took those food were selling and not giving poor people.
Right. Yeah. So again, you think you did your part, and then you hear the story, and then you think I can't. That how can I help? They took it, and so you say I'm not doing that anymore because I'm not helping the people that need the help, so I'm not going to donate anymore. And everybody suffers except for the criminals, right?
Yes,
Yeah. And then there's a thousand variations on this next one. The person on the street with the can that says they're collecting for such and such a company and they're not. The GoFundMe campaigns that, if you do your research, turn out that they're not who you think they're not for what you think they are.
yeah,
Um,
but with GoFundMe, there's also a problem that there's too many options to choose who help. Like
yeah,
you
you
go
get
on
frozen.
page and too many options, and then you
Yeah,
think like maybe I don't help because why this child needs more
yeah,
money than next child.
yeah, yeah, and you could just get frozen. And the other part of that too is it's always in the back of your mind: is this even real? Because they do catch scammers all the time. People pretending to be ill, people pretending that their kids are ill to raise money for their own selves. So again,
And
it just puts people off, right?
the worst is some the most successful on this GoFundMe are like YouTubers and people like that who really don't need that much money. But because they
Yeah,
have fans who support them, they have money. Those
yep,
YouTubers, influencers.
yeah. So a platform that was, that could very easily be used to help people in need has turned into just another way to do business for other folks. And those people have got the pull and the skills to make sure that their stuff gets seen first. So
Yeah,
that list of kids that already freezes you, you don't even get to see them because the front page is full of YouTubers and influencers raising money for their businesses. And
Yeah,
it's within the rules, but it makes it really, really difficult to go in there and try and do some good. Right? It's a lot of work.
and also in topic of this, someone could say help someone who you know, but some people don't share they need problem or they don't even take that money or help.
Yes. Yeah, we've got that one a little bit later as well. The challenge of trying to help people that have been trained or told all their lives that it's bad to accept charity.
No, it's like I also noticed that there's two types of people with help.
Mhm.
First is that you don't tell about your problems because you
Yes.
don't want to be judged and be treated worse because you have
Right.
problems. And
Yep.
on the other side, you don't take help because you feel you will be in debt of that person who helped you
Right.
and you too pride to take help.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Absolutely. We're trained from our very youth to keep ourselves to ourselves and to not ask for help and all of those things, which again makes it even harder because it's sometimes it's even hard to find the people that need the help because they don't feel like they can tell you.
Even family.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes, especially family. But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves because we're still talking about criminals,
Yeah, but
right?
I want
Yeah.
to tell only
Oh yeah.
about this
Oh yeah.
GoFundMe because
Yes.
sometimes people are saying like donate on GoFundMe like people you know, but some
Yeah.
people you don't know. So you
Yeah.
freeze between
Yeah.
those options.
Yeah. Yeah. Too many and too many choices is a legitimate way to freeze people. You you can't help because you don't know where. Like you said, there's so many kids that could use money for surgery, but which one? I mean, I've got $50. How can I, and it's really, really easy to get frozen by these things. But related to that is the flat out scam. The GoFundMe is one thing, but the flat out scam, the I've got cancer, help me, those sorts of things. You see them on Facebook now and again, places like that. But
Not
the thing
only,
with those,
not
there's
only,
practically no way to confirm them, right? If
yes,
they're legitimate. But go ahead. Yeah.
not only cancer, but I get stories like post of parents who allegedly lost children in accident
Oh yeah.
and they have things like PlayStation 5 and they
Mhm.
say, I can't look at this PlayStation 5 because it reminds me of my children. Please
Yep.
take away from me and only pay for shipping.
Yeah. Yeah. And they get 50 different people to send them the money for shipping, and they never ship anything because they never had a PS5 in the first place. It was a
And they
scam
are
from the get go, right?
and they are different person in Africa.
Yeah. Yeah. Which brings us to the other ones too, the abusing people's sense of charity, right? Like it ties in with that. The I'm sick. I need money for medical stuff, that sort of thing. And if that's legitimate, then by all means, please let us know so we can help.
Not
But
only
it's so hard to tell who's legitimate and who's lying, right?
not only that, but also about food. Like I don't have a reason food. Help me.
Yeah,
Also
yeah.
also about those people, I hate that nowadays there is a lot of artists who ask and beg random people for commissions, and one of
Hmm.
them 2 years ago or 3 years ago texted me telling me, I beg you, commish from me because my mom is at hospital and I don't know what to do and I need
Yeah,
money. And I said, I can't and I ignored it
yeah.
because I feel like he could lie to just sell
Exactly. Yep.
commissions, but also I feel bad if it is real.
Exactly. Yeah. So and again, it makes you less likely to donate in the future, right? Because somebody is or may be abusing your sense of charity. And I talked about it earlier. You see this on Facebook all the time. The other one, it happens so often. It's kind of turned into a meme now, but various versions of it still happen. The pretending to be a famous person in need of help.
Yeah,
You know, I'm so and so. I'm trapped in a foreign country. Somebody stole my wallet. Send me $500,
or
and when I get home to my mansion, I'll send you 1 million. Right?
yeah, or for example, the Brad Pitt at hospital that
Mhm.
really need money
Yeah,
because that hospital.
yeah, and yeah. It's not Brad Pitt. They're not in the hospital, and it's a scam. Yeah,
And picture
the
was
long lost family member one too. So
it
yeah,
was pictured by AI of that Brad
hmm
Pitt hospital.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So and again, a lot of those are really obvious, and they're not going to fool very many people. But the fact that they exist means that people are less likely to donate,
Also,
even to a legitimate source.
yeah, but some people were losing their fortune savings.
Mm. Oh
Also
yeah.
about this scam that I need for food or
Uh-huh.
medication. I also want to bring up my ex who was quitting every job and take
Mhm.
money from friends to
Yeah.
bills and food like hamburger from McDonald's and
Mhm.
he prefer living like that than go to job.
Yeah.
And I hated that even when I give him money and he start earning a lot of money at military, he then
Mhm.
still ask me for even more money on
Yeah.
donation during his streams.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's a great personal. I mean the that's a really important story because it brings it home that this can be friends, this can be family. Anybody can abuse your sense of charity.
And
And
partner,
often it's people that you trust. Yes, and partners. It's often people that you trust. You have to trust them for them to abuse that. So yeah, it can be very very personal. The charity is not just dark on the large scale. It can be equally bad and equally damaging at a one-on-one thing when people are abusing your niceness and your kindness.
and some people can literally using you. Like for example, I was helping one YouTuber by collecting stuff about Disney, and she
Hmm.
was saying, "Yeah, yeah, we promo your group Facebook," and then
Yeah,
she stopped and say, I forget. I even
yeah,
forgetting my pages promo."
yeah.
But I
Yeah,
stopped it because I felt
yeah,
use it.
yeah. And that's another really good point. The things that people are taking you doesn't have to just be money. If somebody's scamming you out of your time, that's also an abuse of your sense of charity. You were trying to
Time,
help them.
time, time and energy.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And that's got value, right? It isn't just money that's got value. It's time and energy. And we're going to talk about that later when we talk about things that you can do, things that you can do to make sure that your charity dollars are actually going where they're supposed to. But yeah, the idea of fake charities, again, just it makes me so mad that people are making a business out of lying about helping other people. So we touched on it before, the stolen items from the clothing bins, the food donations, things like that, and even proceeds of crime. People are stealing stuff and posting it online to sell, and they're claiming that they're raffling it off for charity and then keeping the money themselves. That's happening out there. It's not uncommon. We see a fair amount of this, and it's that same sort of abuse of people's charity. But the difference here for me is this is intentional. This is somebody who has literally made a business out of ripping people off. So what do you? What's your input on that?
Yeah, but could you give examples? I didn't get stories like that about
Oh, sure.
stolen stuff.
Well, there was a big one here a number of years ago where somebody they were raffling off exotic cars, and they were claiming that the money was going to be donated to charity. It turned out the cars were all stolen. They were, for the most part, never delivered anyway, and the raffle money was going right into somebody's pocket in an offshore bank account. No charity was ever supported. It was a criminal organization from end to end, and nobody ever got busted for it because it was an organized crime situation. But it's out there, and on smaller scales too. People are with companies out there like Raffle, where you could set up your own raffles. You can say it's for charity all you want, right? Um,
Yeah,
and if that helps you sell tickets, that helps you sell tickets. But it doesn't mean that that charity is getting any money.
yeah,
But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that one. But this next one, we were talking about reasons why people stop donating. And this next one, I'm always of two minds on this because I'm not going to lie, there are people out there receiving money from charities by lying. There are people who are taking advantage of charities and people's good hearts. We talked about them already. The challenge here is that if you let that stop you from donating, that means the people that aren't cheating also get shortchanged. So a very good friend of mine said, if you help 100 people and it turns out that two of them stole that help, that they didn't deserve it, at least you still help 98 people that did need it. So there
yeah,
is that. There are people ripping off charities, but you can't use that as a reason to not donate, right?
yeah, but also you forget about organizing some charity, like
Mm-hmm.
for giving for free items, because you
Mm-hmm.
feel like some people will come and who don't need that and we take and feel like
Sure.
they businessmen.
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I said, if you help 100 people and two of them were criminals, it sucks that those two people got your help, but at least the other 98 people that did need your help got it too.
Yeah, but what if you help small amount of people and then
Yeah.
most of them will rip off?
Yeah, and I mean at some point yeah, I mean that can be an issue. There's no doubt about that. But at some point you've got to either be more of a policeman about who you're giving your money to and make sure that people need it, or and I think it's a very small problem. I really do. I don't think it's 40, 50, 60%. I think it's 2 or 3% of people that are actually ripping off these companies and these charities. And as long as the number is that small, I say we still donate.
Yeah,
If
but
I thought that all the money of a place was going to to people that didn't deserve it, then I wouldn't donate there. But
I mean
if
as
it's
items. And
Mhm.
I want to say I don't know what is mental in Canada or America,
That's true, it
but
might be different. Yeah.
in Poland there's a lot of people who live in Soviet Union and now they learned how to rip off and scam government and others people. And I give you
That's yeah.
example, silly
Please, yeah.
two silly examples. Do
Okay.
you have in Canada Lidl that store
The
discount?
store Little,
Yes,
we don't, but we have discount stores here. So yeah, I know what you mean. We don't have that
they
particular
did.
brand, but
They did something like sell where you could buy food, and if you don't like food, you can return and they give you money. But people
right.
abuse that and buy
Yes.
a lot of things like salad or yogurt and return empty boxes.
Yep.
So the
Oh yeah.
lead
Okay.
stop this sale.
Right. Well, that's a very good point. It's clear from that story that this problem is much worse in some places than it is in other places.
And I give
And
you
yeah, if I thought it was, yeah. Oh,
I
please, yeah.
give you
Another. You said you
another
had two examples. So, yeah.
another example. Do
Mhm.
you notice neon bands to work in night and drivers see you because you have on hand band like
The reflective
president?
band. Yep. Mhm.
There was like a that on two sides of street work in Poland in some cities, and they were for free on pole, on fence, were hanging out. And some
Right.
people were stealing cartos pants and didn't return because it was supposed that on one end of street work you could walk through street and return on fence so other people
Right.
could use. And they
Okay. So
didn't
yeah.
return.
Of course, yeah. So yeah, something like that, and again, the blatant abuse of situations like that, I'm completely against. It just worries me that that sort of behavior by a group of people means that other people aren't getting the help that they need. But it's yeah, it's a legitimate problem, and thank you for pointing out that it's worse in some places than is in others because it's relatively small problem here. Sounds like it's a much bigger problem where you are.
And when you see people like that, or, or people who, for example, steal towels from hotel,
Uh-huh.
slippers,
Yeah.
glasses, and
Mhm.
even stuff like forky and spoons from
Mhm.
hotel, then
Yeah.
imagine you organize for poor people something giving away. I don't know, like
Yeah.
toys, clothing, anything, even
Yeah.
mugs for tea.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
those quote businessmen come to you and talk and say, "Oh, I'm poor or I'm single mother, so
Mhm.
I deserve to smoke because I'm
Yeah.
single mother."
Yeah. Yep. And that ties right exactly perfectly into our next point, the poor me scam, where people who don't need help lie to get access to charitable donations, uh, and they're taking advantage of your sense of goodness and decency again, right? People that don't need those clothes are going to get free clothes. People that don't need food are going to get free food just because they can, not because they need it.
And they have mind like with this meme stonks with this
Mhm.
traitor because they
Yes, yeah,
businessmen gain free stuff and even
yeah,
maybe resell those stuff.
yeah. That which is an excellent point. Most of these people are putting profit before people. They're valuing money more than they value another human being.
No, I mean
And
those people who take free items could later
mhm.
even sell those
Oh yes,
items.
yeah, yeah. And like you said, they consider themselves to be legitimate business people. They think that's a business plan when in fact it's theft and misrepresentation and fraud.
And then
But they're like you said, they're patting themselves in the back, saying they did a good thing, right?
and then put yourself in shoes of those people who giving away those items because then you feel like it's not worth giving away when those people, businessmen, took
Yeah,
away and they don't need
exactly.
it, and you spend your money and time giving away those
Yeah,
items.
yep. And then you stop because you don't want to donate anymore because you don't want them getting richer by lying about it, right? So again, you stop donating altogether, and that hurts the people that need it.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's along the same lines of donations that are misappropriated or stolen instead of being auctioned off. Like you talked earlier about the clothing bins, about the food that was donated to Ukraine being sold by the company that said that they were delivering it. Um,
ask about
every
this.
time one of those news stories comes on TV or on the news, it minimizes the chance that anybody's going to donate further, right?
Yeah, it's about this fake IT people with guns. I also
Mm-hmm.
experienced that because one day someone knocked to my door in house and
Mm-hmm.
they telling I collecting for sick child, but my dad
Mm-hmm.
asked about documents and they have
Yep.
not about charity documents, but about business.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. They're lying to get your money, and that's just. I mean, that's just not acceptable, right?
Also, I saw
And it isn't.
an experiment long time ago where there was three people collecting money. One was homeless person sitting on street. Second was homeless person standing with gun but homeless. And
Yeah.
third one was volunteer with gun for charity foundation. And guess what? Who the most money got?
I'm gonna hope that it was the third person, the one that had the person that was actually gathering money for a cause rather than people.
But it was
Uh,
fake. He had fake ID.
oh yeah, yep. Hmm. Oh yeah.
Yes,
Um, was I correct? Was it that person that got
yes.
the most? Yeah. It's it says a lot, doesn't it? The people that really, I mean, I know it was an experiment, but from the person who was walking down the street's point of view, a lot of them walked past two people that they could have handed, a couple of dollars to and made a difference. And instead, they put that in the bin of a criminal because the criminal looked official.
Yeah, also, one more thing pointing
Hmm.
out about these experiments.
Yeah.
They also make people don't want help because, for example, you see lonely children on street, so you think you should help find parent, but then turn
Yes.
out it's social experiment on YouTube.
Hmm.
Then you think
Yes. Yeah.
twice. Do you really should help if
Yeah.
you will be filmed on YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, yeah. So the next time, and again, it's kind of charity because you would hope that it's charitable for someone to find a child and take them back to their parent. But if you're even going to stop doing that because of people's behaviors, then yeah, that's a problem, right?
Also, there's the third option. You can be afraid someone accuse you be be someone who love children too much.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It. Yep. Yeah. That's a whole different story, though. But yes, it's the same premise. Um, that but it's the worry and concern. But I want to get back on onto the topic that we were on because it's easy to get distracted. But um, oh yeah, yes,
The social experiments can also stop you from helping
oh yeah,
and
yeah,
afraid of being sued.
yeah. Reasons not to help. That's legit. It's a legitimate topic. The reasons that people don't help and people don't donate. It's the same reasons. Right? But one of those is these scam charities. The celebrities or influencers who claim again that they're raising money for charity and then either keep all or most of it for themselves, even though they don't need it. Some of them have been, using it for their own personal projects. It's
Also,
that misrepresentation. Yeah.
also they could easy themselves donate. And you know
Yeah.
what is
Exactly.
the best example of that?
Who's
Do
that?
you remember California fires,
Yep.
wildfires?
Hmm.
One actress do crowdfunding for her neighbor, and people
Hmm.
hated her because she was rich, so she could themselves give money to
Yeah.
this neighbor
Yeah.
for house.
Yeah.
She didn't need crowdfund.
Yeah. Asking for people with less than you to make a donation when you're not going to make a donation. Yeah, that's just it's bad form at least, right? It's just not. It's no wonder people got upset.
Yeah, and also
But
we have celebrities who open them foundation, like Kanye
mhm,
West and bunch of
yeah,
others. And then turn
yeah,
out they spent these monies not for stuff they claim, but for like private jet, for
yep.
example.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Um, uh, it doesn't matter who you are if you're lying to people to get money and using the claim that you're helping others when you're not. That's not right. That's just it's flat out just not right.
But also they're so rich, they don't need foundation. They could give
Yeah,
children or other
yeah,
causes.
yeah. And I think that ties into this next one too. The celebrity auctions where they auction off either an evening with a celebrity or an item from their house or an item from a movie prop or something like that. Or even when they do special episodes of shows to raise money. Um, like you said just now, why not just donate the money?
About these TV shows, I feel like you didn't fully understand what I
Oh,
mean.
okay.
But
Well,
I don't
explain
know
to me then.
if
Yeah.
in USA or Canada you have similar, but there is TV shows where you guest the questions and then the
Oh,
reward is at the end. Like I know
okay.
that
Oh,
we
like a quiz
have,
show?
I give you example,
Oh, please. Yeah.
Fortune Wheel, where they
Yeah.
guess letters of word and
Yeah.
then,
We have Wheel of Fortune. Yeah.
and we have also that you have in America Family Feud,
Yep. Family
and
Feud. Yeah. Yeah.
also we have in British TV show Guess the Tune, where you guess music song by few
Right.
tunes. And
Right. Yeah. From.
and when someone won, they have money. But
Mm-hmm.
special episodes, like for example for Christmas, they invite celebrities and they
Yes. Yeah.
trying to guess stuff and
Mm-hmm.
award they give for charity, like this actress
Yeah.
or singer won this, I
Yeah.
don't know, 100 or no 1000, no 100,000 Polish zloty, so they
Mm-hmm.
give for charity. But
Yeah.
in regular episodes, people don't won because they
Yes.
incorrect answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like everything is directed to celebrity one and give for charity. But I feel
Yeah.
bad because I don't like this watching. It's boring. I should prefer like TV
uh,
network give that award
yes.
directly and don't do
Mm-hmm.
episode.
Yeah. Exactly. And the same things with the auction items too. But the special episodes, I agree with you completely. Take the money that you would have spent on producing that episode,
Not
on the
only,
prize money that would have been given,
not
take
only,
all of that money and just give it directly. Quit
yes,
making
but
somebody fight for it, right?
yes, but not only production, but award itself.
Awards, yeah. Yep. I'm actually reminded of a story from the show Ellen from years ago. The actor that played it was on The Big Bang Theory, and she said on the show, she said, "We're going to ask you some questions, and if you get them all right, we'll donate $10,000 to a charity of your choice." And he said, "Can't you just donate the $10,000?" And it brought the show to a screeching halt because of exactly what you just said. Why are we farting around? Why are we messing around? If you're going to give the money, give the money. Quit
Yes,
making this about you, right? Quit making this about you and your show. Just hand over the money. Just shut up and hand over the money. If you're going to do a good deed, do the good deed.
Yeah,
Don't make
also,
somebody earn it, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
also about Ellen. She was also controversial because she was telling she giving people money, but she was
Mhm.
nasty person.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I think the sentence I wrote down here is doing aura farming instead of actually helping. It's a new phrase. Right? It's like trying to pump yourself up instead of actually helping, and that's what all of that is. There's no need to have that episode. That was done so that people could see the famous people on TV.
Yeah,
There is
but
no need to auction off that, the rock that came from Sylvester Stallone's garden, because just donate the money, right?
yeah, and
Actually get out there and help. Quit trying to make it about you, right?
yeah, but also about this topic of aura.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
also hate that there is people who, for example, there was actor, child actor in one of TV show Nickelodeon, and
Hmm.
he become when he grew up, they stop cast him, so he become homeless and have
Yeah.
mental problem and
Hmm.
addiction, and
Yep.
friends from his work of TV show, they have podcasts on YouTube and
Yeah.
YouTube channels, and they did episode about him when they go to film him and say we help it because we highlight pro- someone with problem. But as
Yeah.
on that episode, they have sponsored of this episode was company who help homeless people.
Right. So yeah, it looks at first glance like they were doing a good deed, but they weren't. They were just getting views, right?
Yes,
Yeah, and
and
that's
people,
nasty. I mean, there's not much worse than somebody that's ripping off somebody who needs help, right? That's horrid.
yeah, and then other people will start coming with and filming TikToks with him and
Yeah,
saying, we
yeah,
helping, we did you bad
yeah,
because we
and
filmed him.
yeah, and all you're doing is making him feel worse and profiting off of his failure. He's still homeless, right? All those people got more views. They got more advertising money from the places that they stream, but they didn't help him. Drawing attention to somebody living on the street doesn't pay their bills, right? Let's be real honest. It just doesn't get them a place to stay. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's not about him. It's about the people that did the videos, right?
yeah, and also this former friend from work, he adds
Mhm.
on his episode, get him a rent hotel and give him
Yeah,
new telephone, phone
yeah,
and
yep,
food like from
yep,
McDonald's and said,
yeah.
look, I help it.
You you gave him one meal, one night's sleep in a hotel, and a phone that he's probably going to sell tomorrow for food. That's what you did. I mean, when you take all the gloss and the BS off of it, that's what you did. You put him up in a hotel for one night, you bought him a burger, and you gave him a phone he's going to sell for food tomorrow.
And
Well
clothing.
done. Good for you. Yeah, and clothes that are going to be wrecked in 2 weeks. I mean, is it helping? Yes. Is it really helping? Not really. Right? If they had handed that person, instead of all of that, if they had handed them a month's rent, that would have made a difference.
Yeah, and also
Right?
film. He filmed whole thing
Yes.
with hotel and
Quit. Yeah.
food.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we were talking about earlier with the companies and the shows. If you're really helping, you don't need to film. If you're filming, it's about you. It's not about the people you're helping. Right?
Yeah, but they think
Yeah.
I did my part. I highlight
Yep.
problem.
Yep. Absolutely. So, we kind of touched on these next ones already. Those people that sell product claiming that the results are going to charity when in fact they're donating a tiny percentage, if any.
We talk about
Um,
that already.
already, yeah, yep. And any group working to turn a profit rather than helping others. We've covered that as well. This next one is tough. This is a tough one. When charities are prevented from operating in certain areas by governments who restrict access for various reasons. And then people don't want to help those charities because the money isn't going where they want it to.
Yeah, good examples right now, Palestine.
Yeah. Yeah. There's lots of people trying to help, and they're simply being prevented from getting in. So people watching that think it's pointless to help now.
Yeah,
So those people aren't getting any help. Nobody's even trying anymore.
and also
And
people
that,
who expect help feel like hopeless
yeah,
because why they
yeah,
should expect help when they can have.
yeah, they're just not being allowed in. Which I guess ties in with this next one, kind of. The particularly government charities, and it kind of stretches the word of charity, but government support in times of like an emergency or something like that's happened, and the government is expected. It's charity because it's a gift. You're not expected to pay it back, but they're expected to show up and help.
Yeah,
But in some cases, the support is so slow that other groups, private groups, are getting there first and offering more real help. And as you pointed out, some of those private groups are groups we would rather probably not um, give too much credit to. Let's
yeah,
put it that way. But it has got to be challenging for people to look at this. I guess ties in with the Grand Orchestra as well. We're wrapping it all around. The people that it's government funding. It is expected in time of an emergency, and seeing how long it takes in North America. That we had Hurricane Katrina, and vast parts of New Orleans were wiped out and wrecked. There are still portions of New Orleans that have not been rebuilt. 20 plus years later, they're still not rebuilt because the government still hasn't gotten around to funding that. 20 years on.
yeah,
So you feel bad about your tax dollars when they're not working, right? When they're not doing the right thing. They're not
yeah,
helping people. Instead, they're making other people rich.
yeah. And also about these groups where I want to give example. In Japan, when was earthquake and
Yeah.
then tsunami, Yakuza first helped and organized to help
Yeah.
people because they
Mhm.
felt like they bought Japan, so they should help Japan
Yeah.
people. And because they
Yeah.
were like family, the logistic was way better than government when people had
Yes.
to wait some days while
Yeah.
Yakuza was in few hours help.
Yeah. So again, the people, obviously you don't donate to organizations like that, but if you've donated to the government and they didn't get there, and it ended up leaving an organization like that to step in and cover it, you got to feel bad about donating to the government charities through taxes, right? It's like, why are
Yes,
we doing this? If they're getting there first, why are we doing this, right?
also in Poland last year, no, 2 years ago, when were floods, also people lost houses and fortunes, and government
Yeah,
was saying, we help, but they
yeah,
didn't still help it. And only one
yeah,
YouTuber who later end up in prison helped because give houses people.
yeah, exactly. So, uh, I mean, the good side of that is charity happened, right? The people that got the help needed the help in both of those cases, but they didn't get them from the official charities, so people were less likely to donate to those official charities because they see them as being ineffective.
Yes.
Right? So we're almost wrapping this up, but you said something earlier that I want to bring up again because this is important. One of the biggest challenges with charity is getting people to accept it.
Yes.
Like you said before, you're too proud, or you don't want to embarrass yourself,
Or
or you've been trained to believe that if you work hard enough you can do this.
also
All of those reasons.
also because you don't want to have debts. in someone
A debt,
for
yeah,
helping.
exactly. You don't want to owe anybody for anything. And I mean, let's be really blatantly obvious here. That's cultural. We're taught that. If we were trained and taught and grown and brought up to believe that if you need help, you ask, this part, at least this little part, wouldn't be a problem.
Also, in some cultures, it's even worse, like in India or Asia, because they believe it's their karma. They have problems, so they
Yep,
don't help you, even if you have
yep.
stuff like addiction or other stuff.
Yeah, and that works both ways. There's the stigma of needing charity, and there's the stigma of a charity giving charity will mess up the natural order of things.
Not only
Right.
that,
So
but they believe that you deserve these problems because in past
yes,
life you were a
yeah.
bad person.
In that particular instance, yeah, that there is that. But holy cow, um, that was a lot of negative. And I know one thing we've done on these podcasts is we like to end on a more positive note. So let's talk
First,
about donating.
first,
Yeah. Oh, please
first,
do.
first tell about bottle caps because it's still kinda
Oh yes, yeah,
bittersweet.
that is true. You showed me this one before. The and we used to do something like this here, but we'll get to that. There was a group that was collecting bottle caps, so they'd ask people simply throw in your bottle caps, and it wasn't just from pop bottles; it was from anything with a plastic lid, and donate them. Just throw them in the bins. We put bins outside buildings. We put them in public places.
Or
They're easy to see.
or in plastic bags because
Yeah.
in school when my mom worked, they collecting
Mhm.
for specific child those.
Right. Yeah. So the idea was that those donations would then be taken to a recycling center and you get paid for them like you do for recycling bottles and things like that. That money would get donated to charity and then the bottle caps would be recycled.
And
So win-win, right?
and
It's a win-win situation.
and this is because bottle caps are the most worth in bottle.
Mhm. Yeah, they're actually worth more than the bottle that they're screwed onto. But tell us what happened.
European Union give love to make all bottles plastic to 1 liter be connected to bottle so you can't now collecting those
Yes.
like you can force it rip apart because it's
Hmm.
thin plastic but you don't allow it to now separate uh,
Yeah.
give it a second.
So a change in the recycling rules
And,
has meant that this particular way of fundraising is gone, and it was
uh,
so simple. Mhm.
and you know why I did this? Because they said too many bottle caps end up in sea. So
Yep. Oh yeah.
ecologists.
Yep. And we didn't have that program here, but when you used to recycle bottles here, they made you take the lids off and throw them in a little bin. And this about 4 or 5 years ago, it changed. It's like, no, we want the lids on. They're part of the process. So yeah, this unfortunately that means that this wonderfully simple. I mean, how easy? You go for lunch. You walk out of your office and you go for lunch, and you're walking back to the office with your water bottle. You spin the lid off. You drop it in the bin. You just donated a penny, right? You do that every day for a year. That's 200 days of business. You donated all that money without ever doing anything. In fact, with saving yourself a trip to the garbage can to throw away the lid. But that's all gone now because of a change in the recycling rules. Um, the end of that sentence, though, is I found out while I was reading that story that apparently in some places, what we call a bottle cap is actually called a nut. And I think that's absolutely wonderful. It's a bottle nut. It screws onto the end of your bottle like a nut screws onto the end of a bolt. So I found that really funny. But
Yeah,
It's kind of beside the point, but yes. So yeah, that there is these situations where you can donate or you could donate, and then for reasons, be they good or not otherwise, you can't anymore. So these disappearing donation streams are tough. It's hard to, it's hard to find ways to donate, especially find ways that you can trust. Which
Yeah,
I guess brings us to do the some things you can do. Um, and the first one, if you're able, and if you have the time and the energy and the fitness, volunteering is a great way to help charities because that can't be misused. Right? Nobody can use your hours for their personal benefit. If you're going to the hospital and cleaning floors, or you're going to a dog shelter and walking dogs, or you're going to a food bank and helping stock the shelves, nobody can scam that.
yeah,
And it means that people that don't have the money, people maybe that are receiving charity themselves, this happens a lot at the food banks that I've been to. Folks that are actually receiving the charity say, how can I help? And the answer is 3 hours of your time in a week to help us feed other people. Right? It's not for everybody, but it is absolutely an option that cannot be taken away from you. And it means that you can physically see the positive effects of what you're doing.
yeah,
And it doesn't
but
cost you a penny.
yeah,
But not
but
everybody can do it.
yeah, and it's sad that some people can't.
Yeah. So for the people that can't, or the people that that you maybe you're doing that and some of these other things, but some of the other ideas. This one I really like that you brought up. We see a blast of charity every Christmas, right? It is the season to give gifts and to donate to charity. But you pointed out, well, go ahead. It was your point. You tell us
Why
what can you
can't
do to spread
why
that out?
help only during Christmas when you can do whole year?
Yeah, exactly. So find something that you can do or a group that you can help and make a little donation every month or a little donation every payday. Don't wait till Christmas. Don't throw your money at the great big ones where they raised $1 billion. Find a local charity nearby that you can help on a regular basis all year round. That's the ones that are really honestly helping people. And even that though requires physical effort. You still gotta, you gotta go out and you gotta find these people. So one of the things that you can do, thanks to the internet, is you can help online. Volunteer to answer phones or respond to emails for a charity of your choice. If you're skilled in art or writing, offer to write copy for their newsletter, offer to do art for their banners. And again, the money, the help is going to the people that you want it to because you're physically handing the product to them at the end, or answering their phones or doing something for them. You can tell you're helping. And there's one thing absolutely everybody can do. Absolutely everybody. Speak positively and verbally support the charities that you know that are doing good work. So if one of your friends says, "Oh, I had a really nice Christmas bonus this year," pipe up. Say, "Hey, how about donate $20 to this cause so that kids can have presents?"
Yeah,
Right?
also,
Speak positively, please. Yeah.
I want to ask, because I'm curious, in
Mhm.
America or Canada, do you have that when you pay taxes, 1% you can give for charity?
Um, here it's you could, and don't quote me. I think this is how it works. If you make a charitable donation, you can write that off. So if you owed $10,000 in taxes and you make a $5,000 charitable donation, then you only have to pay $5,000 in taxes.
Because in Poland, you have like 1% to choose, where
Oh, nice.
like it's not
Oh,
like you less paid, you just have 1% guaranteed, and you
oh,
choose
that's
what you
marvelous. And then
want
there's
give.
a list of choices. Oh, I love that. Make it part of the official tax document. So come
And you
tax
can
time, hey,
and you
yeah,
can give to specific person if some foundation let that.
right. Oh, I absolutely love that. Make it an official question in a government document, right? It's so that people can't say I didn't see it. They can't say I forgot. It's right there. I love that. That's brilliant. That's absolutely wonderful. That made me smile. Um, and which I guess brings us to this one too. We're both content creators. Lots of the people that are listening to this are content creators. So if you are a creator, you can get involved in charity streams. I've done a ton of these. They used to be really, really popular. Not so much in the last couple of years, but they used to be extraordinarily popular. I was doing 3 or 4 a year as a role player with other groups. Gives you a chance to play with people you don't normally play with. But the big thing is most of those charity streams have a um, direct donation function where the streamer never touches the money. So you don't have to worry about somebody scamming the money. A third party who often does this for free, there's several of them out there that do that for free or for like $10 for a whole day. They will automatically bank transfer every donation that gets added to the link directly to the group involved. A friend of ours does one for the a children's hospital. They do several a year of these charity streams, and they use this software, and that money is just instantaneously transferred to that particular hospital.
I observed that even solo gameplays you can do
Hmm.
streams like that because I serve
Absolutely, yep,
streamers who play video game alone and
yep,
raise.
yep. One of the content creators that I watch just did an online 24-hour video game car race. 24 hours nonstop. He did it all himself. Normally, it's 6 or 7 drivers that take turns. He did the whole thing himself and raised money for charity. And in fact, for a charity that helps with a health condition that his daughter has. So yeah, you can do this. And he raised over 50,000 euros in one day.
A lot.
Just one guy. Just one guy. Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's got 200,000 followers and his average videos get over 100,000 watches, but I don't care. That that doesn't matter. One guy raised 50,000 euros in one day doing what he loves. So you can too. It's not hard. And like I said, there's ways to automate the whole process so that all you do is do what you do, play your game, do your stream, whatever it is that you do, and mention to people, hey, donate, donate, donate. You just bug them the whole time you're doing it. But the actual donation process is automatic, instantaneous, and safe because
Even
you can see the money going where it's going.
even on YouTube you have
Mhm.
videos. You make video, not
Yeah.
stream, and still
Yep.
fundraising.
Yep. Yep. There's one of the I, I watch. I'm kind of a little dark sometimes. I watch a lot of the disaster videos, and one of the fellows that does those is raising money for OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder treatments and therapies. And yes, you're right. It doesn't have to be a live stream. He does this on his recorded YouTube channel stuff,
And you
and
see
he's also very successful.
And you see it's better than just a record homeless person or, for
Yeah,
example, a live streaming from floods. Like in my
yeah.
country, some YouTubers gain views because they say, "Oh, I can highlight how much is flood in
Hmm.
city," but
Yeah,
he didn't collect money.
yeah. You didn't make any donations. You just, yeah, like we were talking about earlier, you're profiting off other people's suffering, right? So, I guess we got to the point where we can talk about actually donating. In spite of all of that, in spite of all of those reasons to not donate, if you still want to, and I mean, most of us, I think, do. Most of us would like to help. If you're not using the examples we just gave you, and you actually want to make a donation to something, do your research. Check it out and see if they're donating, how much of it they're donating, and whether they're profiting from it. Would you like to add to that?
No,
No, okay.
but
Well,
you're right about that.
yeah. But we came up with a couple of examples. And again, these are not suggestions. We're not professionals. We're not paid to send people to these places. But some of the ones that we've encountered that make it very, very easy to donate. One of them is because it benefits you, the Humble Bundle. You see them all the time. And if you're like me, you get 10 emails a week telling you about all the Humble Bundles that are out there right now. And a tremendous number of those allow you to donate to a charity. Now, not all the money goes, but they're very, very honest about it. They tell you that about 6 to 7% of your donation is going to cover the cost. But that means that, unlike some of those companies we talked about before, this means 93 to 94% of what you're donating is actually going to the charity.
And also these humble bundles are really good prices of products.
Yes. Oh, they're stupendously inexpensive. So yes, you get a great deal on a bunch of stuff, and it's not just games. There you can learn programming. You can all the Humble Bundles. Some of them are even books and things like that. So
Yeah,
there's something for everybody on there. They're an incredibly good deal. They've generally got a series of options. So it's like 5 books for, or 5 items for this much, 10 items for this much, 20 items for this much, and the more you get, the better deal you get. But then the important part from what we're talking about is that they then, on top of you getting an excellent deal, part of that money is going to a charity.
they also
So you get to
sell,
do a good deal while you're doing yourself a treat.
yeah, and they sell also even softwares like editing
Yeah.
programs.
Yep. Absolutely. I very nearly bought the How to Program Python Humble Bundle a while ago, and then I realized I don't have the time or the energy. But yeah, they're there, and they're so inexpensive compared to going and taking an actual course. Itch.io is a very similar platform, very similar numbers.
And, and even better, because even more games or
Oh,
programs you
and
get, like
yeah,
hundreds.
yes, literally hundreds of choices. So if you could scroll through either one of those, especially if you're looking for something anyway, if you were already going to buy it, then why not make that tiny extra 10% and knowing that it's going to a good
Yeah,
cause?
but I mean, like, I once buy like 100 or more products for
Yep.
$5 in
Yes.
total.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. It's like I said. It feels like it almost feels like you're stealing, but you're also helping in the process. So yeah, that's a great way to make yourself feel good while also helping other people.
And also you support indie developers because most of
Hmm.
that games are indie
Yeah, they are indie games. You're right.
and really good.
Uh,
Like once,
yes.
like once was the I forget how was name of that game that looks like Zelda, but you play as Fox. There was one
Oh,
that game.
I'm not familiar with that one, but yeah, there's and something for everybody too. If you go scrolling through that, it's so much fun to just scroll through there and go, oh, I'd love this. Oh, I'd love that. Oh, it's $2
Yeah,
done,
yeah, but
and it goes on the pile.
yeah, but I mean like you don't choose one or two games. You
Hmm.
have some bundles, like
A bundle of yeah,
100
yeah,
games bundle
yep,
or more than 100,
hmm,
and all
yeah,
for $5.
yeah, and then 50 cents of that goes to a charity, so you can't
No
lose.
more, more
Yeah.
now,
Well,
more
I think the
even.
default is 10, and then you can decide to add more.
No, no,
Is
they
it
they
higher?
total give the
Oh, the
all,
total amount. Okay. Okay.
and they go
I didn't.
and they have go like some $1,000 for call, and they
Oh,
collect.
oh, that's wonderful. So yeah, that's a chance. So again, the best part with that is you get an immediate payoff for helping other people. You get cool stuff. So who doesn't like that?
Yeah,
Um, the other one that I brought up, and I had a very specific example here, but I think I'm going to generalize it. Find a good local cause. For me, it was the Children's Hospital fundraisers here in BC that buy equipment for BC sick kids hospitals. Like I said earlier, you can't go wrong helping kids, right? Famous
yeah,
personalities have donated their time, all the money raised actually goes to Sick Kids Hospital. The operating costs of the whole charity are covered by business donations. So that when I hand them $10 goes to Sick Kids Hospital.
Yeah,
So
also,
that makes a difference to me.
yeah, also, I wonder, do you have in Canada or America small shops with handmade stuff like mugs and other, and when you buying, the money go to charity because you're going to small business with handmade stuff?
Not specifically. I know some companies are doing that. It's actually a number of companies are saying that a certain percentage of everything we make will be
No,
donated,
I
but
mean
not like you were
like
mentioning. No, that's different. That's very interesting. Is that happening in Poland?
it. I saw that in Krakow start to pop out about
Huh.
Ukraine, but also in England I saw shops like
Huh.
that.
That's really interesting. So that everything you buy from that shop leads to a donation. That's really wonderful.
And
Yeah. So you're
artists
supporting your
local
local business.
and local
Yeah.
artists made handmade
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah. So you're supporting local artists and supporting charity at the same time. Again, double win, right? That's two help you. That's two help yous for the price of one, right?
Yeah,
And again, you get to go home with something wonderful. You get to go home with a unique piece of art. But this next one is wonderful. You just found this morning, and
no
I sat here with.
yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. Okay, I just saw it this morning when I opened up Discord, and I sat here with my mouth hanging open. This is brilliant. Tell us about this.
The Polish game company about they doing other games, but now they're doing game about vampires. And to promote the new game, they did action or campaign that when you donate your blood to hospitals and prove them you donated, they give you for free game.
Yes. So I clicked on the website and I went and had a look, and all you have to do is go to a donation site. You said at the hospitals over here, we actually have places where you could go and like just donate blood. It's not a whole hospital, but you go to any one of these places, donate at least 1 unit of blood, take a selfie of yourself at that location, and email them that selfie, and they will send you a copy of Bloodlord Rising Vampires Bloodlines Rising for free for donating blood. A lot of people wouldn't even consider donating blood charity, but it is. You're helping somebody else by making a donation of something that's yours, right?
Yeah,
But the idea of rewarding that after the fact, I think, is a brilliant way that can be used by not just these guys, but other people. If they see this and they get this idea, this is a great way to get people to donate. We've talking about all these reasons why people don't, but that, I mean, a free video game. That's as
yeah.
simple as it gets. Donate blood, which is a good thing to do anyway. It costs you nothing, and you get a cookie. And then when you're done, you come home, and these people will send you a free game.
Yeah, and also they don't scam you because you're giving blood to hospital, not
Yes,
private
yes,
company.
exactly. You're literally there watching it happen, so you know it's going to a good place. You know it's going to go and help save lives. And that to me is the ultimate statement of charity. I make a donation of something that I have that helps somebody else stay alive.
And
That's as
that's
good as it gets.
and also it's brilliant because game about vampires and you
Yes,
give
even
blood.
better. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's just that perfect touch on the end. So I'm very glad that we got to get to the end on that happy a note because boy oh boy, this was deep. This was dark. This is stuff that a lot of people don't want to think about and don't want to know. But we did it anyway, and
Yeah,
you choosing this topic was important. So thank you for choosing it.
thank you also for helping me do this
Oh,
because like I said, For many years, I was thinking, I wish to help, but I don't know how because of all these reasons. Like, I can't even volunteer. So I was
Right.
like, how I can help and don't want be scam or use it. And also soon is grand final, another of
Oh,
the
another one.
orchestra.
Yeah. So yeah, with that as your backdrop and seeing all of that, and like I said, we're gonna let's wrap it back around to the grand orchestra. Bad actors are out there.
Yeah,
Sometimes you can't avoid them. Like we said, you can't avoid your money being taken by these because it's through local governments and all of that we talked about before. So you can't always avoid getting scammed, and sometimes you get scammed by accident, and sometimes you get scammed because it's a really good scam. But please, please, please make the effort to find a charity that's doing good and help them in whatever way you can.
yeah, actually.
Well, with that, I think I'll hand it over to you. It's your podcast. Take us out.
I think we covered hot topic. So
Yep.
see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.